I want to start with Pocono Raceway. They actually did a nice little promo. You sent me the link. Unfortunate they weren't able to have fans in the stands for the 2 NASCAR races and all the other action that weekend. However, they did a promo, and your voice was included. Let's just take a little listen quick.
Race fans, this is NASCAR, and this is your Pocono Raceway. It was pretty neat. I was quite honored when they asked me to do that, because it's become somewhat of a tradition now that I do, working in the booth up there for the parade lap the first time by with the cars, and it's something that I don't know. It just rolled off the cuff with me, and it stuck, and they all like it. The fans really enjoy it. The people in the suites, which are up there, it's pretty neat. They're cheering and yelling after they see it, and I didn't even realize it until after I did it. So now it's become part of the every race program up there, and so their intent was to show people that even though you were not here, this is what you would be seeing, and this is we're still thinking about you, and to have me included with that was an honor.
Before we move on to the local scene, I wanted to hit on this. Dr. Rose Mattioli passing away, co-founder of the track with Dr. Joseph Doc Mattioli.
Doc was indeed the rock up there, and he could be intimidating, but on the other side of that, when you saw Rose there, she was an amazing person. She was a sweetheart. She could remember who you were from one year to the next if you didn't see her. She had such an amazing way of reaching out to people. Her charity work is second to none in this entire region. I don't think people really realize just how much there's an organization called the Mattioli Foundation, and just how much that they have done for so much in Northeast Pennsylvania and beyond. She loved the sport. She loved Pocono Raceway, and she really loved the people that were involved with it, both fans, media, teams, you name it. And you got to remember, at every race, she was always there on the stage when they did driver introduction, and she was the first person that they came out and shook hands with as they were having their names called. So she's part of a very elite group. She's a member of the Hall of Fame with EMPA, along with Doc. And she's done, again, so much for so many, and she will be truly missed.
Let's move to the local scene now. As I looked in my inbox as we continue through the pandemic, the first press releases I started to really get sports-wise came from Mahoning Valley Speedway and Dino Alberto getting things moving. And you said the local racing scene really benefited from opening up and welcoming fans, people excited maybe just to get outside. What have you seen?
In our region, we were lucky enough to allow fans in, and as far as following guidelines, I think we did as best as we can. But the thing is, there was just so many people that were so excited to get out and do something. Some people that we haven't seen for a long time. You know, it really kicked off about a month ago, maybe just a little less than that, over at Greenwood Valley Action Track, where they run micro sprints and go-karts. And there's a lot of our guys from the area here that run up there, and when they first opened up their gates, it was like nothing that they have ever seen before. Kenny, the first week they pulled in something unbelievably like 180 some cars, which is a promoter's dream. And then the following week, they tipped the scales at over 206 race cars. It's just a little 1/5 of a mile track, and they were parking them out in farm fields and anywhere else that they could find them. Hazelton's Ross Burr track was one of the winners up there, which is not surprising. He really rules up there. But that really started the ball rolling with some other tracks. The state eventually went green within the next couple of weeks, and we down at Mahoning Valley decided, hey, it's make or break time, because it was on that. We were on a lot of us were on that verge that we didn't open soon. It may not be opening at all. It could have taken that toll, just like it did with a lot of businesses throughout the country and the region with that. So we were lucky through some good promoting and a lot of anxiousness with people wanting to see a race. We filled the place, and as you can see from some of the photos that I've been sending you, you'll notice that there's not a seat to be had. So it was great. A lot of New Jersey people, a lot of New York people, Connecticut, Maryland, they were all flocked to our little track. The night before we opened, same thing was down at Big Diamond Speedway. They said it was the biggest crowd in track history that they'd have ever seen there. And that's a huge grandstand down there. And it was just phenomenal to see that. And I think part of that is the fact that the stick and ball sports still weren't and they're really not there just yet at the point where they can reopen. So auto racing, in our case, short track, was the only game in town, and right now it still is. So we're somewhat of the benefactors from the reopening phase of what has happened with the virus.
I wanted to take a pit stop here and mention that Dino and I did discuss how all the local tracks have to follow CDC guidelines, and just before this interview, the governor made his order that masks have to be worn in all public places, indoors and outdoors, and I asked Dino Alberto about that.
If the guideline was given to us, and I know it's not just us, but all sporting event facilities, especially in racing, if that's the guideline that we must follow in order to stay open and in order to best serve our clientele, then that's what we're going to have to do. And you know, we're not above any of that. And if they want us to do that, then we will do that.
How about the drivers? I mean, you love promoting the area drivers. Who have you seen out there? Who's impressed you? Who's having a pretty good early season, and who's actually getting out there? It sounds like everybody.
So all the stars came out. At Mahoning Valley, we not only had our locals, but we had guys that came down from the NASCAR Modified Tour, the Race of Champions Asphalt Tour. The driver who won with us, his name is Jimmy Blewett from Wall Stadium in Wall Township, New Jersey, which is on the coast there. And he's quite an exciting driver to watch. Never stepped foot before at Mahoning Valley, never won a race in Pennsylvania, and his first time up there, he wins one of our big shows. So that was exciting. He brought a lot of crowd with him. So we've seen all these big guns coming in. And likewise at Big Diamond, some of the national stars were there that run on the dirt circuit, going up against all the locals. The car counts have just been fantastic, and the promoters are reaping the benefits right now because of that. And the fans too, because they're getting to see a lot of these star players who can't race maybe at some of their area tracks in the New York, New Jersey area. And because Pennsylvania is open for that, we get to, we get to reap those rewards from that.